Public Library. My name is Miss Caitlin, and today we are going to use our scarves in the songs towards the end of Storytime. So please grab a scarf or a scarf-like object for those songs. Welcome everybody. Let's begin today by singing Hello, Hello. This is a repeat after me song, so everything I say, you should say too. Hello, hello. Can you clap your hands? Hello, hello. Can you clap your hands? Can you stretch up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you turn around? Can you say hello? Hello, hello. Can you stomp your feet? Hello, hello. Can you stomp your feet? Can you stretch up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you turn around? Can you say hello? Good job. Now, let's get our fingers ready. Let's warm them up with open, shut them. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Put them in your lap, lap, lap. Creep them, crawl them. Creep them, crawl them. Right up to your chin, chin, chin. Open up your mouth real wide, but do not let them in. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Put them in your lap, lap, lap. Time to talk about our early literacy tip of the day. My number one goal in doing these story times and sharing these tips is making reading fun for kids. And a good way to make it fun and stay fun is if you're reading with your child and they're not really in the mood, they're feeling a little wiggly, they don't want to sit still, just pause. You don't have to finish a book. There's nothing says you can't put it down and come back to it later, or even these videos. Pause button is easy enough to find. Just press pause, come back to it later. That is okay. You don't have to finish it straight away. If they're feeling wiggly, why don't you try a different activity? There are many things you can do together that promote learning. Reading's not the only thing you can do together. Singing, you could play pretend together. There's all sorts of things you can do. So again, if your child is feeling wiggly, they don't want to finish the book, that's okay. Come back to it later. We want to keep this fun and have all sorts of happy associations with reading and not unhappy ones. A song to go along with our early literacy tip of the day. The song we're going to sing right now is a great one if your children have to get up and get moving a little bit. It's called Can You Hop Like a Bunny? And it imitates lots of different animal sounds and motions and noises, and it's just a lot of fun. So it goes like this. Can you hop like a bunny? Can you jump like a frog? Or ribbit? Can you quack like a duck? Quack, quack, quack. Can you bark like a dog? Woof, woof, woof. Can you fly like a bird? Can you swim like a fish? Can you be very still? And can you dance like this? Very good job. Let's read a book. Today we're going to read Giraffes Can't Dance by Giles, Andreae, and Guy Parker-Rees. This is one of my favorite picture books. I love the rhythm and the dancing, and Gerald is just so much fun. However, this book, it's a little longer than one I normally choose for story time. So If you're feeling kind of wiggly and don't really want to finish the story, it's okay to pause and come back to the video later. I promise. All right, here we go. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. Looks like a normal giraffe to me. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. When you buckle at the knees, it means you kind of fall, just like Gerald did there. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos rocked and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. Look at all those dancing animals. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. I'd be there dancing with the baboons. Cha-cha is one of my favorite dances. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked towards the floor. But the lions saw him coming and they soon began to roar. Hey, look at clumsy Gerald. The animals all sneered. Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird. That is not a very nice thing to say. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. They're right, he thought. I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot. So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before. So sad and so alone. That's why we need to be careful with our words, right? If we say mean things to our friends and family, it makes them feel sad, and that's not nice. Then he found a little clearing, and he looked up at the sky. The moon can be so beautiful, he whispered with a sigh. Excuse me, coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. There's our cricket friend. And if you'd been paying attention, there's a cricket on every page. See if you can spot him here on out. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying and his tail was swinging round. I think he's starting to feel the rhythm. He threw his legs out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Acrobatic giraffe. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. I am dancing. Yes, I'm dancing. I am dancing, Gerald cried. He looked so happy. Then, one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, It's a miracle. We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen. How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how. But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. We can all dance, he said, when we find music that we love. What kind of music do you like to dance to? If you haven't found it yet, explore around. There's lots of music to choose from. I bet you can find your song and learn to dance too. The end. Let's sing another song. This one is a dance. We're not going to dance quite like Gerald, but we are going to practice our rights and lefts and rights by doing the Hokey Pokey. So please mirror my movements as we sing this song together. You put your left hand in, you take your left hand out, you put your left hand in and you shake it all about. You do the Hokey Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your right hand in, you take your right hand out, you put your right hand in and you shake it all about. You do the Hokey Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your left foot in, you take your left foot out, you put your left foot in and you shake it all about. You do the Hokey Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your right foot in, you take your right foot out, you put your right foot in and you shake it all about. You do the Hokey Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your whole self in, you take your whole self out, you put your whole self in and you shake it all about. You do the Hokey Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Now it's time to use our scarves for the next two songs. The first scarf song we're going to do is We Wave Our Scarves Together. We wave our scarves together, we wave our scarves together, we wave our scarves together. Because it's fun to do, we wave them all up high, we wave them all down low, we wave them in the middle, because it's fun to do. Now we're going to throw our scarves. We throw our scarves together, we throw our scarves together, we throw our scarves together. Because it's fun to do, we throw them all up high, we throw them all down low, we throw them in the middle. Because it's fun to do. Good. Now let's sing the alphabet song, and we're going to wave our scarf with every letter that we sing. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Great job, everybody. So that's it for today's Storytime at Home with the Livermore Public Library. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to say goodbye today by singing We Clap Our Hands Like This. We clap our hands like this. We clap our hands like this. We clap our hands with all our friends. We clap our hands like this. We stomp our feet like this. We stomp our feet like this. We stomp our feet with all our friends. We stomp our feet like this. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye to all our friends. We wave goodbye like this. Goodbye, everybody, and I will see you next time.